welcome back to another episode of Sports with LM10. And again, I know I'm not LM10, guys, but I had to deliver these news. Ole Gunnar Solskjaer is gone. Ole has been sacked. Ole out has officially shut down now. Who's coming in, you might ask? Ralf Rangnick. A lot has been said about him. You might not know him. You might know him. You might have heard rumors. Jurgen Klopp, Tuchel this, Nagelsmann this, the Red Bull clubs. But to give you a proper, rundown of who this guy is, LM10 will tell you who this guy is.
Yes, it's LM10. Officially. We're going to talk about Ralf right now. Who is he? Where is he coming from? Because a lot of questions are being asked, especially by the United faithful, because even the footballing world, not a lot of people know about him. So mainly Ralf is more of a background character, He's the guy that writes out philosophies and let writers write books and not really be praised for those philosophies, He's the guy behind Jurgen Klopp. From a Liverpool perspective, I know exactly what type of coach you can expect from him. He's the guy that is praised by Thomas Tuchel. You know what he went on to do and achieve at Chelsea. Nagelsmann at Bayern as well is literally like the grandfather of German football. For those that don't know, he's literally like the grandmaster. Actually, let me put it like that. If you guys, we're just gonna, take it somewhere else for a minute. If you guys know martial arts, the guy behind Bruce Lee, he's that guy behind all these good coaches. So United are actually getting the grandmaster of everything. So what can we expect from a United perspective? One, like Jurgen Klopp said, structure. Structure. United are going to be a well-structured side now. Well-structured side. I think this is going to be the first time in a long time, maybe some may argue, we had a bit of structure under Mourinho or whatnot, but it wasn't very convincing. The last time United had a structure was in those Sir Alex Ferguson days. Now, he's going to bring in structure, discipline. And like all Germans, efficiency. We can expect structure, discipline, and efficiency. So we're going to look at a lot of changes that are going to take place at United due to this guy. His philosophy, Gegenpress, is going to use the same thing. That's the same philosophy that Liverpool is using. Obviously, as time goes by, he's going to need to buy players that are well equipped for that style. Because if you look at the Liverpool players that play that system, people like Jordan Henderson, for example, I wasn't a fan favorite. He wasn't my favorite player. But now, because the system works for him, he's literally one of my favorite players for Liverpool. You understand what I'm trying to say? That system doesn't allow for star players to actually shine. It just allows for people to work for the team, to work for the badge. Something that United has been missing for a long time. And something that the pundits have been crying for, that we need people that are willing to die for this club. When have we seen that, So he's going to bring in that. So those star players who have been taking the easy way out, man, I don't want to name names as yet because we have a United fan who's going to do that. But it's going to be a tough time for them to adapt, obviously. So he's bringing that gegenpress or heavy metal football, as it's known commonly. Heavy metal football means we do not stop running. If the opponent has the ball, we get it back immediately. No 3-second rule like Barcelona, no. Immediately. If they have the ball, we go after them. When we have the ball, we try and attack. That's heavy metal football. It keeps on going. It's almost similar to your Marcelo Bielsa, but Marcelo Bielsa is more of a, we're gonna run till we die, But this one is a bit more structured. So you can expect United to play similar to the way Liverpool is playing, similar to the way Red Bull Leipzig was playing, when Julian Nagelsmann was there, similar to the way Bayern is playing currently. I would say a bit similar to what Chelsea is doing, but Chelsea is playing a 3-4-3 currently. So he's a man of a backline, 4 defenders at the back. That is never going to change. And then he's probably going to use a 4-3-3 or a 4-2-2-2. We don't know. But from a United perspective, structure, and that structure is going to be heavy metal. We go, which for the opponents like myself, it's a bit tricky, it's a bit scary. Jurgen Klopp was already stressed out at his press conference saying that now United are going to be an organized team. That tells you all you should know. If all these good coaches that have won Champions Leagues are praising this guy, It tells you what sort of guy he is. But to finish the story off, I'm not a United fan, will never be a United fan. I'm gonna hand over to my brother who is a United fan, and he can tell you more about the story.
Now, from a United's perspective, what can we expect from Ralf, right? So you look at, Lumko has already mentioned the formations he usually uses. So it's like a 4-3-3 or 4-2-2, right? A 4-2-2 does not really have a CDM. He usually plays with the 2 8s and the number 10 will play on the side, and you'll have a left wing and the 2 strikers. And then now you look at United, you start looking at it like keeper, there's no argument with David De Gea. Can't argue with that. Look at your right back. Now with Wan-Bissaka, it's on the fence. Because Wan-Bissaka going forward offensive, it's not really the best. You know, Delo, we've seen he can put in those crosses, and having someone like Cavani and Ronaldo in front, you need someone like Delo and Tellers who put in those crosses. So then you go on the left hand side. Luke Shaw has not really been that great this season. We can't even go two ways about it. So I would want Ralf to give Alex Tellers a chance on the left hand side. And then the center backs, if we have a run back, fit and all, we need Varane and Bailly. No Maguire, no Lindelof, please. We are tired of Lindegaia. They've been horrible. We've seen them, they've been horrible. Now, as we get into the midfield, this is gonna be very funny to like a lot of supporters, right? But McFred, we grilled Oliver for this, for playing them, but because with Oliver, they didn't have structure around it. They didn't know what to do with the adrenaline they had. They didn't know what to do with this press they had. They were just running around like headless chickens, basically, because there was no really structure from the management side of things. But with Ralf coming in, there is structure. We've seen with IB Leipzig, right? That's a team, right? IB Leipzig. We've seen that how they would press when they're playing with the 4-2-2 is they would have those two center midfielders, pressing so hard that if one gets to the player, the other one is already getting the second ball, and that's how these two players should play, and that's what Ralf brings to the team. Someone might say, what, I would swap McTominay for Donny, and it's still gonna work the same way because Donny is a runner, Donny is a fast thinker, Donny is a good passer of the ball. You have Donny, you have Fred, then you have Bruno right close to them, you have Dalo, then you'll have your Sancho who can one dribble, he can pass through the short spaces, the low press, he can get past it very well, and so when you have those kind of plays, start looking, okay, where does a Pogba fit? A Pogba does not fit in this type of situation, and in January, Pogba can sign a pre-contract for any club right now. So, you look at it from a business side of things, it'll be great to sell Pogba in January, but it's not going to happen. No team has the money. So, why would you want to now start putting him into these plans? As much as Ralf is there for 6 months, but you also want players, even after the 6 months, to have this philosophy going forward. Even when the next manager comes in, they still have this structure. They still have these organizations within the team, right? So then I'll go to the strikers. One might say Greenwood, Martial, but we have Cavani and Ronaldo. Cavani still presses like he's still 25, and you need that type of striker with Ronaldo. Ronaldo can be the ultimate poacher right now. You give him the balls the right way, whether it's through the midfield, whether it's through the wingers. Because remember, with Ralf, when he was still at IB Leipzig, he was saying that he would want, the moment his players get the ball, they have 10 seconds to go score. 10 seconds, right? So from how it moves, the transition, how it moves to get to Ronaldo, and Ronaldo has said this a lot of times, like he would want the midfield to move a bit more faster, so that we press teams before they could get even organized at the back. So with Ralf coming in and giving them the 10-second rule, that in that 10 seconds, you need to be in the opposition's box, trying to have a shot or scoring. So that would work so much in Ronaldo's favor. Ronaldo is a hard worker. We've seen his dockies, we've seen his interviews of how he takes care of himself, and he still runs. Even to this day, he might not have the pace that he had 20 years back, but he still presses, and you have Cavani who still presses. You have those two strikers, and you have the supply of Bruno, Sancho, and Donny van de Beek right there. And they're playing with the triangles, like how, if you've literally watched IB Leipzig play, they play with the triangles from the right back going all the way to the striker. It will work out perfectly. But then now you start looking at it, he's only there for 6 months, right? And obviously there's an extension of the 2-year consultation. Now start asking yourself which manager now comes in. A lot of people like Erik ten Hag. I also like him personally. But you look at his style of play, his philosophy, and Ralf's style of play and philosophy, they don't really match. you know, they don't really match. You have one guy who's about just total football, keeping it here, and you have one guy who likes pressing, who makes sure that, you know what, a team, the moment they get the ball, they have 2-3 players on him so that we can get the ball back and go score. So then you start looking at the management board, you be like, who are you guys going to appoint? They're leaning towards Pochettino, and I think with Pochettino, he can adapt his play or his style of play towards, you know, what Ralf is all about. Erik ten Hag, on the other hand, he's strong on his beliefs, you know, so coming in, there will be a clash, and we, you know, for the first time in a long time, United made the right decision with Ralf. You don't want it now to backfire because you're hiring the wrong manager to manage the team. So I could say in closing, one, Pogba is probably going to leave. Martial is going to leave. Jesse Lingard should leave in January. Donny van de Beek should stay. I know he wanted to leave in January, but all is gone now, bro. Come on. All is gone, dog. So you stay. You know, Wan-Bissaka needs to work on his offensive abilities at this point. You know, Luke Shaw, I think Mourinho was right, guys. I know we killed Mourinho last season because Luke Shaw was probably one of the best left backs, but that was one season out of how many? You know, you could say, yeah, injuries, whatever, but come on now. We have Alex Telles, they play him. Harry Maguire should have never signed for United, so they should take the captaincy away from him. We have Varane and Eric Bailly right there. You know, those are the type of centre backs you want. They fast, they strong, they don't just get bullied off the ball. They're also good on their feet. We've seen with Harry Maguire, man, he gets nervous on his feet, man. He's like Wan-Bissaka, but worse. You know, so those are the players that need to leave. And with the manager, I would lean more towards Pochettino. We don't know what's going to happen. You know, Pochettino's fee cuts down to 5 million from the 10 that they're asking right now. It cuts down to 5 million. So I think United might go for Pochettino, knowing very well that if you still have Ralf, you know, and consulting with them the right players that they should buy, which kind of players would work in the system, how they should win trophies, I think Pochettino would be the right man for the job. So in closing, guys, that's Ralf. I'm excited, you know, for the first time in a long time, I'm excited. Lumko already told you guys how you could say Pochettino, not Pochettino, I mean Tuchel and Klopp are kind of like, you know, you could see that they're a bit worried about the structure that United is going to have. And in a very long time, I mean, Sir Alex Ferguson left in, what, 16 years now? It's like, bruh, hey, we've been struggling, guys. We've been. So having this signing is a good sign, but it's still Glazer's ours. Let's not forget that Glazers needs to come on now. But shout out to you guys for watching until this point. Tell a friend that we are still here. We have not gone anywhere, guys. Not gone anywhere. So like, comment, subscribe. Tell us, you know, is this the right decisions for United? Should they go for Pochettino or should they go for Erik ten Hag and maybe go get Van der Sar to be the director of football? Who knows? You know, nothing is impossible in this world. But shout out to you guys, man. Peace out.